fists clenched, his shouts loud. She'd fled to the sanctuary of the towpath, hoping he wouldn't see where she'd gone. There was a dark shape ahead, making her slow down, but it resolved into a bench as she got closer. There'd been no more noises. It had been her imagination. She stopped to sit down. She needed to calm herself and work out what to do. She couldn't go back to his place, but she had clothes there and jewellery. He had photographs of her, intimate ones. He'd used them against her. That shouldn't matter. Leaving didn't have to be harder than staying. Get her stuff, go, stay out of town. The streets on the other side of the low bridge weren't far away, lining the higher slope on the other side. The town centre just a swirl of orange lights below. The streets meant safety, but she needed to steady her nerves, to work out her next move. It got dark ahead before it got brighter, and there was something about the shadows ahead that made her nervous. She took a cigarette from her packet and was about to light it when there was another noise. A bottle kicked over, rolling along the towpath. He was following her. He'd seen where she'd gone, would know that she either had to keep going into the darkness or turn back towards him. He'd said too many times that he'd never let her leave him. He was waiting for her in the solid blackness of the towpath. She knew it. She put her cigarette away, left the bench, increasing her pace as she went, not caring now that the click of her heels echoed like loud cracks along the path. She looked over her shoulder as she ran, straining to see who was there. The bridge was getting closer, shadows underneath. She looked back again. There was movement on the towpath behind her, a dark mass flitting across. The bridge was just 20 metres away. She was almost at the steps. She took off her shoes, holding them in her hands like weapons, the heels long and pointed. "Leave me alone," she shouted, just to attract attention, her eyes going to the windows of the houses opposite, trying to make someone open a curtain or turn on a security light. There was no response. The steps were just there. The sharp stones between the cobbles made her wince, slowed her down, but once on the bridge she could run, make it to the tarmac on the other side, to the street lights, to where people would see her. Someone stepped in front of her. She let out a scream, but he rushed her, one hand going to her throat, choking it quiet, his other hand pulling her back by the hair. She gasped and searched for air, but there was none to be had. She flailed her arms, heard him cry out as a heel dug into his head, and for a moment she thought she was able to fight him off, but she was thrown off balance. He pushed her towards the water. Her arms thrashed at him, but she dropped the shoes. Her bag fell off her shoulder and became tangled round her legs. Her feet couldn't get a grip as she tried to push back, the stones tearing at the soles of her feet. He was too strong. He kept on pushing her until one of her feet was in the air. The ground was no longer there, and then she started to fall backwards. The splash of the freezing water made her gasp in shock, but it was drowned out as the dirty water filled her mouth. She spluttered, fought to keep her head above the water. Her feet scrambled for something to push against, but the canal was too deep. She floundered up, her head above the surface, and coughed out the water, dirty and acrid. Her hair plastered across her face. She snatched a gulp of air before he pushed her down again, holding her this time, pulling her body against the wall of the canal, and her head under the surface. She pushed against the stones, but she couldn't fight him, the water providing too much resistance. Her mouth was clamped shut. Images flashed into her head. Her mother, raising her on her own, tough but loving. Liam, those early days, tender and doting. The later months, bullying, spiteful, drunken. If he would only let her up, she'd try harder. She'd understand him better. Her arms splashed in the water, tried to reach for his head, but he was using the strength in his arms to hold her under the surface. Her lungs ached, her lips pressed together. She was tired, cold, couldn't struggle any more. Just hold on. She needed to breathe, but she had to fight it. Why didn't he let her go? He loved her. No more struggles. Her strength had gone. Her chest was willing her to take a breath, her brain telling her she needed the oxygen, even though she knew what would happen when she opened her mouth. She gave in. The water rushed in, cold and dirty. She coughed, her lungs fighting, but there was just more water. Then there was darkness. 4 months later,